Hi all, Plant Site Agent here. Today we're going to do a boil test using this small tin alcohol burner, the folding solid fuel stove, and the 1000 milliliter mess tin. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. This is the setup I use for my mess tin cook set that I put together, and I have a video of that, and I'll put a link in the description. And the main reason I kind of went with this setup for the mess tin, especially the larger mess tin, is that I wanted a burner that had a little bit more of a surface area, which this one does. This one's about what is that? About 2 inches. Let's see real quick. Got a ruler here. Oh, let's make that 3 inches. And it looks like about a ½ inch deep. I picked this up on AliExpress. It's probably just got carbon filter in there with a little metal over the top. And this particular one will hold an ounce and a half of fuel, alcohol, which should give you enough burn time, hopefully, to cook a meal. I'll find out when I actually get around to using this thing. But the reason I wanted a wider base, because it's such a big pot, I didn't want to use like my little round ones where, it's going to concentrate all the heat in one little spot, especially when you got such a large surface area on here. So this one should give me a little bit more. And also this will fit nicely on this particular stove. The tin will work real well there. The other thing too I liked, especially for the kit I put together, is this will actually fit inside the stove. So that's real handy. So kind of everything's all compact. In fact, this has also room. If you'll look at my other video, you can put a small bic in here too. Keep everything kind of together. So I was just kind of curious how the performance on this would be, this kit. So I thought I'd go ahead and fire it up today and we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and do a boil test with 2 cups of water in this tin and with this setup here. So I'm going to go ahead and set everything up, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I think I'm all set up for the burn. Just one other comment. One of the reasons I kind of wanted or started looking at these larger mess tins is if you're going to be cooking a lot of ramen, the ramen comes in a kind of a square package, and a lot of your round pots and stuff, you're just not going to be able to, you have to bust up the ramen to make it work, where this, you can just throw the whole thing in there with some extra vegetables. See, this is actually a larger ramen package. Will fit in there very nicely. Like you say, throw in your extra meats and vegetables or eggs, whatever you want to do it. And you should have room to cook all of that. Plus, big pot like this, you can cook any number of things. So anyway, that's a side note. So basically what I have is I've got 2 cups, 16 ounces of 54-degree water. I filled up the burner here with 1.5 ounces. So we're going to run a boil test, and then I'm going to let this run out. So see how long it'll burn. So anyway, let's see. Let's get started. Okay, this is the first burn on this burner, so hopefully it doesn't change the performance. So we'll go ahead and put this on. Start the timer. We're already up to 55. You can see all that. Oh, another thing I'm going to do is I'm only going to run it to 210 degrees instead of 212. Like I said, Gear Skeptic, that's what he uses for all of his boil tests, and I'll do the same because I've noticed that the water it'll have a rolling boil around 210. So sometimes it's kind of difficult to get it to push up over to that 212 mark. So I'm just going to run 210. For all intents and purposes, in the field, you're not going to have a thermometer. You're just going to wait for the royal boiling anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you around and let you look at the burn pattern. There's your burn pattern, and it's covering the bottom of this pot pretty nicely. Okay, we're almost there. 2:09, 5 minutes. That's real respectable time. There we go. We'll say 5:19. Yeah, that's very fast for that little burner. Only and as you can see, well, we're up to 212, so it did jump right up there. So I'm going to go ahead and shut all this down, and we'll just go over what. Well, oh, that's right. I was going to let this thing run out. So I'll go ahead and turn you off till we burn out the fuel, which is probably going to be another 10 minutes. Well, while we're waiting for the fuel to run out, commented before, with these mess tins, I always like to use the lid upside down. And sometimes I'll use a clothespin or one of these binder clips to grab it with. That works really well to get off the top. But that way you can cant it off a little bit so that you get the steam to come out. Also, these things fit really snug the other way around, and it'd be kind of hard to get them off, especially this one, which is wider. If your hands are real wide with gloves, you could probably pry it off, but if you got smaller hands, mine are almost, I don't think would do it. You're going to have a little trouble getting that lid off, so that's just something I've discovered. Another thought, also, when it's like this, you could almost use it as a double boiler, or just to warm something up, maybe your bread or something on top of that while you're waiting for your meal to finish cooking. So just different possibilities you can come up with. Yeah, we're at 12.5 minutes and it's still going strong. Another thought too, this burner is going to be going full bore right out to the point it runs out of fuel. So I don't know about simmering. They do sell one of these that actually has a little round cutout here that you could probably use for, I don't know how much of a simmering it would be, but maybe so you won't get as much heat. But then you got the problem where I said before, you just have all your heat centered on one spot, especially on a big pot like this. I'm thinking, I'm not going to do it right now because I just want to time this, but maybe just lay this way across the top of the burner. Maybe that would act more as a simmer. So I think after all this part's done, I might just go ahead and play around with that before I finish up this video. Okay, looks like it's getting close to burn off all the fuel. It's down to more of a simmer right now. So we're, you could probably say, you know, we probably got a good 15 minutes of cooking time with this particular burner. So that's not too bad. Guess if you need more of those, you get 2 burners or that you could swap out in a hurry so your meal doesn't cool off while you're in the process of cooking. So let's see. Yeah, it's just about petered out. So I'm going to go ahead and say just for round number 15 minutes is what you're going to get, which is about right for 1.5 ounces of fuel. So we go ahead and clean all this up, and then maybe I'll play around and see how this works as a simmer. All right, I think I'm all set up for a simmer test. I have about 1 ounce of fuel in here. So let's go ahead and fire it up. We'll see how that works. There we go. Kind of see what the flame looks like without the pot. So let's go ahead and say if you wanted to simmer how this would look. Well, it looks like it's cuts the flame down by about half. It's probably the best you could do. I don't know, whatever, you could come up with some other scheme to narrow that down. Nice thing about putting it this way is you get 2 heats, so you get a more of a spread over the like the top of the across the bottom of the pot. So that would work a little bit better than all centered in one little spot in the bottom. Spread the flame around. So not sure how this would simmer. Not that we'll be able to tell anything. But I guess if you wanted to try it out to see, you know, if you needed to simmer to see if that would cut it. I guess if not, you could give it a try. If it was too hot, you might have to play around with moving the pot around. So I've seen people do that before. try to control the heat. But probably the downside of these alcohol burners is they're all or nothing most of the time. The Trend-G has a pretty good simmer ring on it, but not like with a propane stove where you can usually often get that down to a real good simmer. And some of the white gas stoves to a certain extent. Some are better than others at simmering. So, but I think most of the outdoor cooking you just want to really heat it up and go. So, anyway, that's how it looks like with the lid used as a simmer ring. I think a good sharp breath will pretty much blow this out. Yep. So, anyway, works really good. I'm real impressed with the boil time with this burner. I think because it's so wide, like I said, we boiled 2 cups of 54-degree water in 5 minutes and 19 seconds, which is pretty fast, and the whole thing burned for about 15 minutes. So should get most of your cooking needs done like that. So, but like I said, real impressed with this little setup. So as soon as the weather gets a little bit better, I'll take my new cook kit out and give her a whirl. So I think that's all I can say about this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.